What's going on, guys? Welcome to the very first episode of Days Down Under, the Australian podcast where we break down all the latest drama, romance, secrets, and surprises from Salem. I'm Roland in the crowd, coming to you live from Australia, and today we're diving into another huge week of Days of Our Lives. We've got relationships, drama, family, tensions, shocking revelations, and a few moments that left fans talking. So, grab a coffee, settle in, and let's head to Salem. Now, let's start with EJ. One of the biggest stories this week I found was EJ continuing to recover memories from his time in Italy. As more pieces of the puzzle started coming back, several people become nervous about what he might remember. And as we know, whenever memories return in Salem, you know trouble isn't far away. But however, the interesting thing I found actually here in this storyline was that if EJ does remember, that could actually impact multiple storylines at once. And it's actually going to make the story this so much more compelling. It's just not about what EJ remembers. It's about who gets exposed when he remembers it. I thought these scenes were some of the most strongest this week. The suspense is building nicely, and it feels like we're heading towards a major reveal. While EJ continues to remember more about what happened, Kat is becoming increasingly worried. You can see the pressure building. She's trying to keep everything together, but the walls seem to be coming down. One thing Days does really well is showing how secrets slowly unravel. At first, a character feels completely safe, then one small detail changes everything. Before long, they're scrambling to stay ahead of the truth. That's exactly where Kat seems to be right now. The simple question is, how much longer can she keep this secret hidden from everyone? Now, I've actually enjoyed this storyline. Some people have found it really, really boring, but I particularly enjoy this storyline. I think Kat has been a incredible asset to Days of Our Lives. Not only the Jennifer storyline, what's happening with her and Jennifer at the moment, more on that later. But no, with the whole Abigail thing as well, I've really enjoyed her acting. And I'm really, really keen to find out where this storyline ends. Now, let's move on to Kristen being Kristen. Let's talk about that for a bit. Because honestly, would it be Salem without Kristen causing chaos? This week, she continued making dangerous decisions and pushing situations further than most people would ever dare. What stood out to me was just how desperate she seemed. When characters become desperate, they become unpredictable, and unpredictable characters are often the most entertaining. Every time Kristen appears on screen, you know something dramatic is about to happen. I don't actually think we've seen the end of her latest plans. In fact, I think things are only just getting started. So let's see what happens there. Now, what I find really, really awesome about Days of Our Lives is they tend to focus on current events that really, really hit home. And the next storyline I would like to just talk about just for a little bit is Johnny and Chanel. This week was one of the more emotional stories that I've ever actually seen. The couple found themselves dealing with important personal changes and challenges while continuing to support each other. What I liked here was the balance. There were emotional moments, but there was also hope. Sometimes soap operas can lean heavily into the drama. This storyline reminded us of why fans continuing to keep rooting for these characters. They genuinely care about one another, and after all, after everything they've actually been through, there's still something still so worth celebrating. The Gwen, Jennifer and Jack storyline has actually captivated me for many years. First of all, we have Gwen being the daughter of Jack from a totally different relationship that no one actually knew about. And then you've got Jennifer dealing with that as well. As we know, Gwen does come from a family where it seems it's been all about her. And it's just how she's dealt with that she has come a long way, but it will be interesting to see whether Jack and Gwen will actually get along well, like Jack says he wants to. I do believe Gwen, she's a bit sneaky, so I think I hope she doesn't ruin it for herself again. But as always, the writers will have something up their sleeve. So let's just see what happens with that. Now, I just want to spend a bit of time on this last point, is John Black. Now, we can all agree, or hopefully we can all agree, that John has been one of the most well-known characters and well-loved characters on the show. And when the actor actually passed away, it left many of us feeling sad and hoping that they would give John a good send-off. Now, in my opinion, that send-off 12 months ago was one of the best send-offs I've actually seen up until this point. The only send-off that actually comes close to that would have been Alice Horton back in 2000 and I'm going to say 10, she passed away. So when everyone came back for hers, I found that to be the second closest send-off to John that I've actually enjoyed reminiscing with the fans, all the different moments that have happened to them on the actual show. With John, I really had hoped they'd done the character justice in the tribute show 12 months ago, and I absolutely believe that they did. And I'm looking forward to seeing where the storyline develops with Marlena on her own. The whole chess set thing, that's left me stunned as to what that could be about. I do have a few ideas, and it will be interesting to see whether they come to fruition. I don't know. Let's just sit back and have a look at that. But look, the support for Marlena has been incredible over the last 12 months. We've had Sammy return. We've had Kerry return. We've had many, many well-loved characters return to show support of Marlena. And I'm just looking forward to seeing where this whole thing goes. So if you have any feedback, comments, not only about this storyline, but about anything I've talked about on today's show, let me know. My email is rollinthroughthecrowd@gmail.com. ROLLINTHECROWD@gmail.com. I'm on Facebook at Rollin in the Crowd. I'm on Instagram at Rollin in the Crowd. Please like, please subscribe. Again, this is my very first podcast, so let me know any feedback on what you think. And thank you again for listening. And until next time, keep rolling in the crowd.